This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we'll be starting our next topic, that is classification. Okay, so the topics that we are going to cover in classification, they are: we will see what is classification, the purpose of classification, why the classification is used. Okay, then creation of characteristics. Okay, we will see this. Then creation of class, how to create the class and all we will see. Then usage of classification, where this classification is used. Okay, so these are the topics we will be covering in the classification. Okay, so basically the classification system has the task of describing objects using characteristics, okay, and grouping similar objects into classes to classify them and make them easier to find. Okay, so basically classification is nothing but you are grouping the similar objects into one group basically. Okay, suppose let's say in your company you have 50 diesel generators, 50 diesel generators located at different places. So out of these 50, let's say 30 are 500 kVA diesel generators. Okay, remaining 20 are 250 kVA diesel generators, let's say. So tomorrow I want to take a report of these 30 diesel generators. How you will take? So for that, you will be using this classification system. Classification system. Okay. When you are when you are managing many objects, that's what I told you. If you have a lot of objects, you must be able to group these objects according to certain features. According to certain features. Okay. In this way, you can logically organize them.
Hello, hello, sir.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Hello, sir. Sorry for interrupting.
okay. Uh, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. Okay, and find them easily and group them together when performing analysis. Okay, so basically what happens here in the classification is you take these objects. Okay, you organize them according to certain criteria. That criteria is nothing but features, so that you can find them easily. Okay, one aim of classification is to assign features in detail to a technical object that cannot be assigned to the master record by using the fields of the standard system, SAP standard system. So basically, in the classification, you will assign the detailed features in detail. Okay, particular equipment. Suppose let's say if you see here, I have a pump. Okay, so for the pump, tomorrow I want to uh, basically let's say in my company I have a lot of many pumps located at different places. So tomorrow I want to take a report of pumps based on their lifting height, or based on the power requirement, or based on their connection time. So these are nothing but features. Based on these features, I want to classify them. Okay, so these features are created in the system using characteristics. Characteristics. We will create all these characteristics in the system, and ultimately, these characteristics are uh, assigned to the class. Assigned to the class. Okay. So this is the one. So you can have a multiple hierarchy of the classes also. Suppose let's say in my company I have machines. First type of machine, pump, motor, gears. This is first level of classification. So I am classifying them according to the type of equipment. Then the next level, second level is again in the pumps, what type of pump? Turbine pump, reciprocating pump, water pump. This is second level of classification. Okay, so you can have the multi-level classification also if required. Okay, so basically here this is what. So basically what happens is you define some features. You define some features. Okay, you define some features. Okay, these features are assigned to a class. Are assigned to a class, and ultimately this class will be assigned to the equipment. And equipment is assigned with the class. That's what you will do. Okay, so these are the ones. First you define the features based on which you want to classify. Okay, so these features are nothing but in the system characteristics. First you describe the features of an object using characteristic. You create the characteristic centrally in the SAP system. We will create this step one. Okay, once that is done, you create the class. So in the second step, you create the class, and all the features, all the characteristics defined in the step one are assigned to this class. And this class will be assigned to your equipment, assigning the objects. Okay, ultimately, you will be assigning that class to the equipment and where you define the values. Okay, so this is how you do the classification. Okay, so what I did is, in our example, I identified some features for my 500 kVA diesel generator. Okay, so in our case, we are using diesel generators, DG. For this, I identified some features. For some features. So based on these features, let's classify the diesel generator. So first we have to create all these features as characteristics. This is kilovolt ampere, current in ampere, speed in revolution per minute, power factor, frequency in hertz, frame size, and the serial number, and its manufacturer. So I, based on my experience, I identified some features. So this we need to create as a characteristics. The first step is create characteristics. Create characteristics. T code is CT04. Okay. Next. Then after that you create class and assign the characteristics to class. To class. To class. This is CL01. Okay. Next one. The last step is assign the class to equipment. Your object is nothing but equipment. This is normally you can do it in IE02 change mode. You go and you can do it. Okay, so now we will create all these features as characteristics CT04. Okay, so now let's go to the system. Okay, wait. Okay, let me log in again. Okay, I logged into the system. So now let's create the characteristics CT04. Okay, this is the T code. Okay, here you have to give the characteristics. So what I will create Z underscore KVA. Okay, I'll create this, enter the characteristic. Here you see there is a button, create, click on that button. Okay, Z underscore kilovolt ampere. Or let me put it simply, kilovolt ampere. Kilovolt. Okay, I'm creating this. Okay, now data type, how you want to enter the value. Okay, so data type is, from the drop down you select numeric value. The moment you select the data type, it will ask number of characters it should have and the decimal places. Okay, I want to have number of characters as 4 and the decimal place is 1. Okay, so the meaning here is total number of characters are 4. 4 means like this 1 2 3 4, but one decimal place. So it is like this 123.4. Total characters is 4. 1 2 3 4, but one decimal place. So I want to enter the value like this. That's the meaning of it. Okay, Now the unit of measure is normally kilovolt ampere is stored in kWh. You have to select from here kWh. This one kilowatt kWh. Let me select this. Okay. Now I will select restrictable and single value. I'll explain this in a minute. Okay. Now go to description. Don't enter anything here. Go to values. Okay, values will come automatically. Okay. Additional data. When we create the next characteristics, we will use this additional data. Now go to restrictions. Here you need to enter your class type. That means this characteristic can be used only in the classes. So if you go here, it can be used in only in equipment class and the functional location class. Functional location class. So I want to restrict usage of these characteristics only in these classes. This class type you will understand in a minute when we create the class in the second step. Okay. So that is the one we are creating basically. Okay. So now let me save this. So first one is created. Okay. Second characteristic I will create. Second feature. Second feature is current in ampere. Okay. Let us take this. Okay. Put it here. Click on, this is a create button. Huh? Click on create. Number range triggered YCT04. Just one minute. Current in ampere. Okay, let's use some other system. Let's use our normal system. Wait. Okay, not a problem. Okay, CT04. Let me create the first one. Okay, kilovolt ampere, data type, numeric format, number of characters 4, decimal place is 1. In this system, it should have kWh. Wait, KIJK. Wait, I'll just give 1 minute. Let me enter that. KWH, enter, restrictable, go to restrictions, enter the class types. Okay, done, save it. So we created the first one, ZPM underscore KVA. Okay, now let me create the next one. This one, current in ampere. Okay, click on create, give the description. I'll put the description as same data type, numeric format, number of characters 4. I want to have decimal places 1. And this current in ampere is measured in amperes. If you click on the unit of measure, it is measured in amperes. A, you will have A here, amperes. That is a unit of measure. Done. Okay. Same thing. Activate restrictable checkbox. Go to restrictions. Enter the class types. Done. Save it. So second feature I have created. Okay. Next one, speed in RPM. Okay. So these features I selected based on my experience. Okay. In the real time, based on the equipment, the client will provide these features. Okay. Then you have to guide them how to create them in the system. Okay. So next one is speed in RPM. Click on the button create, give the description. Okay, again same thing. Data type numeric format, number of characters 4. I don't want to have any decimal places. Unit of measure is, it is speed in RPM, right? So unit of measure is per minute. Okay, if you scroll down, you will get per minute. This one you don't have a per minute. Check it. Where is a per minute? This one only. Yeah? This one only. I think this one only. Okay, let's enter that one. Okay, we don't have normal per minute. Huh? Okay, let's enter that only. Okay, so again, as usual, restrictable, but normally speed in RPM can be within an interval. I want to restrict this value speed in RPM within an interval. Okay, so then what you have to do? You have to activate this checkbox, interval values are. Okay, and then go to values, you give the value. The speed in RPM should be between 0 to 3000 revolutions per minute. Okay, so the value should be within this limit. Okay, and as usual, go to restrictions, enter the class types. Done. Save it. Now I'll create the next one, power factor. Okay, power factor. Okay, click on the button create, give the description, data type, as usual, numeric format. Okay, number of characters 2. Okay, I don't want any decimal places. Normally power factor will not have any unit of measure. I'm not sure whether you have any engineering industry experience. Normally power factor will not have any unit of measure. Okay, and also power be negative value also. So I want to have interval values and also negative value. Both power factor can be negative also, and as usual restricted. Okay, so enter this. Now go to values. So normally power factor can be -1 to 1. That's what I'm entering. Okay, so now go to restrictions as usual. Enter the class types. Enter. Save it. So power factor is created. Okay, this one is done. Next one is frequency in hertz. So let's create this one. Okay, so create, give the description, go to data type, numeric format as usual, number of characters 2. I don't want any decimal places. Unit of measure is hertz. Hertz. Okay, so A, B, C, D, F, H, K. Hertz. You see here, hertz. This is the one, unit of measure. Frequency. Enter. Okay, and now as usual restrictable, but I want to have only two values. Either it can be 60 hertz or it can be 50 hertz. Any one of these. And as usual, go to restrictions, enter the class types. Okay, now go back, save it. So I created one more. Now the next one is frame size. ZPM I will add. Okay, frame size. Again, CT04. Give the characteristic. Click on create. I'll give the same description. Okay. Now this one, frame size can be a character format. It can be alphanumeric. Okay, so that's why I will select data type, character format, number of characters 30. Okay, that's all. Restrictable, as usual, go to restrictions, enter the class types. Then save it. Okay, so that's how you create the frame size. Next one is your serial number. Serial number. Okay, take this one. I'll create the characteristic. Click on create. Okay, I'll put like this one. Serial number. Okay, data type, character format as usual. Okay, number of characters, let me put 30. Okay, and restrictable. Okay, now here in our equipment we have the serial number. Suppose if I go to our equipment, if I go to IH01, okay, this is the one. If you go to our equipment, click on expand hole, we have this 500 kVA diesel generator. So if you go to this diesel generator, here you have a manufacturer serial number. correct? So this serial number I want to fetch automatically. So this serial number normally will be stored in a table. I'll show you the table. Okay, you need to go to S11. S11. Okay, it will be stored in a table called EQUI. EQUI. Okay, enter the table, click on display. So if you go here, there will be a field called search. If you scroll down, search. Here you see search. Manufacturer serial number. That means the value, the value maintained here in the equipment will get stored in this table, EQUI table, and in this field, search. So this is the table, this is the field. So I want to fetch it from there. So what you can do here in the characteristic, again go to additional data, just go to additional data. Here you enter the table name and field name. So I'll enter table name EQUI and the field is search. Enter. You will get this message. That's okay. Continue. Okay. So that means system will automatically fetch from this table and field. I'll show you that in a minute. Go to restrictions as usual. You enter your class types. Done. Now see. Okay. So that is serial number. Okay. Now the last one is manufacturer. Manufacturer. Okay. So same thing. Put the characteristic, create it, give the description, data type, character format. Let me put 30 characters, enter, restrictable, and now again go to additional data. So in our equipment master, we have the manufacturer, right? If you go to equipment master, we have a manufacturer, Caterpillar India Limited. Okay, so this I want to fetch it into the classification. So what you can do, this field manufacturer will be stored in this same table and the field is HERST. Here you see HERST, manufacturer of asset. So this is the table and this is the field. Okay, so enter. Table is same table EQI and field is HERST. Enter. That's okay. Continue. Okay. Now go to restrictions. As usual, enter your class types. 003 is the functional location class. 002 is the equipment class. Okay. Done. Now save it. So basically what we did here is we created diesel generators features as characteristics. This is what we create. So we are done with the step one. Now we need to create a class and that class needs to be assigned with all the characteristics we created previously. The T code is CL01. Okay, so now let's create the class. CL01. Create class. So I'll create ZPM underscore DG. This is the class I'm creating. Now here you see class type. So the class type which we entered in the characteristics, if you go to class type, what type of class it is? Here you see for our equipment, it is equipment class 002. See 002 equipment class. Whereas if you're creating a class for functional location, you have to select 003. But normally in the real time, most of the time they will create class for equipment. That is 002. Enter. You will get this screen. Give the description Z underscore PM underscore DIESEL diesel generator. Okay, give the class description. Enter. Go to characteristics. Now here you have to enter all the characteristics which we created previously. Okay, we have to assign all the characteristics we created in the previous step. You see here the tab is characteristic. Here you have to assign. So what I will do, I'll just copy from the notepad file. You can enter one by one, but just to save the time, I'm just copying from the Excel file. Sorry, notepad file. Okay, so I entered here, enter. See all the characteristics, their description, data type, okay, all those information now getting displayed here. So once you enter this information, just save it. So now the class is created. So what is our class? ZPM underscore DG. This is our class. Okay. Now this class will be assigned to the equipment. our object, the third step, last step. And here you have to do classification. Okay. So now let's do that. So our equipment is already created. Now what you have to do, take the equipment. Now you need to go to change mode because it is already created. So go back, go to IE02, enter. Enter the equipment, enter. Okay, so now here you see there is a field called class, but it is grayed out. But if you see it is grayed out, you cannot input the value here. So now what you have to do, here you see there is a button, class overview. You see there is a button here, class overview. Click on that button. The moment you click on the button, you will get like this. Here you see the class type 002. So you need to assign a class created with class type 002. So now let's assign the class here. You can search from here also. You can search from here. Class type is 002. If you click on the continue, you see you have some class types here. The one which we created today is this one, ZPM underscore DG. It is showing here. This one. See, ZPM underscore DG. The one, the last one, the one which we just created. Put the cursor on that, just click on the button, apply. So it got assigned here. Now the moment I enter, all the characteristics in this class will get displayed over here. Just enter. See, now you got all the characteristics. But what do you observe here? See, the manufacturer serial number and the manufacturer of asset, they are automatically getting displayed here. From where they are coming? They are coming from the equipment master automatically. Correct? Is that correct, Debjani? Debjani, are you there?
Yes, sir, it's correct.
Yeah. So see, they are automatically coming from the equipment master, Caterpillar India Limited, and this is the manufacturer serial number. Okay. Now for the remaining ones, you need to assign the value. Okay. So let's say it's a 500 kVA diesel generator, right? So value assign 500. Current in ampere, let's say this is 650. Okay. Now we are doing the classification. Now we are classifying the equipment. Okay. Now speed in RPM, let's say 1500 revolutions per minute. Power factor, let's say my power factor is 0.9. Okay. And speed in frequency in hertz, we can enter only one of the value, 60 or 50. Let me select 50. Okay. And frame size, I can enter whatever the value, FMPL 500. Enter. Not compatible. Okay, let me enter -1. Okay. So now we entered the values. Remaining characteristic we entered manually, whereas for these two characteristic, system is automatically fetching from the equipment master. So now the classification has been done. Now go back. Now the moment you go back, now you can see the class here. Okay. Again, if you want to see the characteristics and their values, you have to click on this button. See, all getting displayed. So now equipment is classified. Now go back and then save it. Okay. Now the question is ultimately where this classification is used. See, you need to understand why we need to create all this data. What is the real purpose? Okay. So suppose let's say in my company, I have let's say 50 diesel generators located at different places. Okay. Now I want to take a report. I want to take a report of diesel generators supplied from manufactured by the Caterpillar India Limited. Caterpillar India Limited. I want to take a report. Okay. Some are manufactured by this company. Some other diesel generators are manufactured from a different company. So I want to take a report of the diesel generators in my company, which are manufactured by Caterpillar India Limited. So now how you will take the report? So now for that, you will use this. So what you do, you need to go to a report. Okay, I'll show you. So what you have to do, go to cross application components. Okay, go here, go to classification system, open this, find. You see there is a folder called find. Open this folder here. Find objects in class type CL31. Double click, go here. Okay, enter the characteristic. So what is the characteristic? Wait, characteristic is this one, right? Manufacturer. ZPM underscore manufacturer. So enter the characteristic, enter. Okay, now go to selection criteria. So now here you need to enter your manufacturer of the asset. So I want to search all the equipments which are manufactured from Caterpillar India Limited. So I'll just take the text down. I'll just take the text. Okay. Now enter the value. You can enter in the beginning screen also. Here also you can enter, enter, and here you see there is a button. Find in class type. What do you observe? You got the equipment. You see? Of course, here in this system we have only one. Normally, if you have more than one, all will get displayed here. All will get displayed here. So like this, you can take a report. That means here system is displaying all the equipments which are manufactured by Caterpillar India. You see, this is the 312, the one which we have 312. If you have more than one, all those things will come over here. That is the use of classification. Okay, so that's how the classification is used. So basically, you group them basically according to certain features. In the real time, all these features will be provided by the client according to the equipment. They know what are the features they will provide. So for pump, you will have some different features. So the one which I showed you on the screenshot. For pump, you will have a different features like lifting height, power requirement, connection type. So these are some of the features of the pumps. So according to equipment, you will have features that client will provide. Then you have to guide them, like how to create all these things, then how to search, the way I searched here. Okay, so this is all about your classification. Okay, okay then.